PK52, the Saturday morning meeting. Hey, wrapping up the end of the year, and I know what you guys have. I know you're super excited about it. It just hit the ground, the new RAV4. So, two-part series on this new RAV4. I thought I'd throw out kind of a softball the first week and then come into the drive system the second week, because we really need to put on our scientific hats for the drive system. So let's start with RAV4. You've been around a long time, so the segment of small SUV was not there in the early 90s. All of a sudden in 1994, Toyota jumped out with this little bitty small 4-door and a 2-door RAV4. And man, it lit the market up. It wasn't a few years later that everybody was in the compact SUV market, because that first RAV4 was pretty special. Since then, Toyota has really ramped up RAV4. RAV4 is a perfect niche vehicle in every country. 58% of the global sales for Toyota, that means 58 out of 100 vehicles that Toyota makes and retails around the world, are RAV4. That's a big deal. We are over 400,000 RAV4s sold domestically every single year, which means the RAV4 by itself outsells every single thing that Mazda sells. That means if Toyota was only just a RAV4 outlet, if all we had to offer the public was RAV4, we would still be bigger than Mazda, which is gigantic. Some big fun facts right now. What I love about the RAV4 is they didn't make it a small SUV. They made it capable. 3,500 pound towing package. 2 jet skis on a nice jet ski trailer, no problem. A small pop-up camper trailer, or even some of the small pop-out camper trailers that are fully contained with everything in there, under 3,500 pounds now. And so you can grab a RAV4 and drive the country and camp out. You know, it's a very capable vehicle. So, I mean, that becomes pretty awesome. Up to an 800 watt stereo system. I mean, you're talking about a small vehicle pounding 800 watts, so I don't know what you listen to, but you'll be able to listen to it in extreme volume. Apple CarPlay. And we're messing with Google right now. You know, Google's got some issues going on politically, so Toyota's kind of slow playing, but Apple CarPlay works perfectly in the vehicle. Up to 5 USB ports in the upgrade model, so that's pretty awesome. And Safety Sense. So Safety Sense right now becomes gigantic. And to be honest with you, we talk all the times about applying product knowledge and be able to give product knowledge to customers. I just don't really think in today's age, if a customer shows up late in the afternoon on a Saturday, that you really have enough time in a product presentation to clearly make a customer understand how much safety that Toyota gives you at no additional charge. I'm talking from the base level RAV4 to all the money in April when we come out with a hybrid RAV. But it's all standard safety with the Safety Sense 2.0. So what I would do is I would get together with a couple of people in the dealership, write out what you're going to say, and do a small Safety Sense 2.0 video. Because it's really the only way the customer has the ability to be able to absorb all of the safety that we're putting into the vehicle. No customer is going to tell you that they don't understand what you're saying if you're talking about, I don't know, adaptive cruise. I mean, adaptive cruise, what even does that adaptive cruise mean? Do they understand that we use radar and a camera to be able to mirror the car in front? And how does that work? And why does it work? And why should I be confident with that technology? Again, the explanation for that is deeper than I'm going to go on the video today, but just bringing that up is hard for the customer to understand. Lane departure warning. How does it know it's going out of the lane? Is it the stripes? Is it the paint? How does the car understand that? Again, explaining that to the customer, I think, is paramount, because we're charging all the money for these vehicles. I mean, these vehicles are not going down in price. I mean, you can spend up to $40,000 for a RAV4. You better give me $40,000 worth of presentation, but do you really think you could give that presentation to me in 5 or 6 minutes that I'm going to allow you to talk about the car before we start talking about price? Again, the video sent to the customer, very well done, so you can walk through this, is so important. Once they've opened the door to have a conversation with you about a possible appointment coming in the dealership, that shows you that you can go to work for the customer prior to coming in. I'll tell you about that in a second. Lane keep, which means the system can actually move you back into the lane. Now, a lot of people think it's only the stripes that happen, but I have the ability as your car, as your RAV4, to look at the vehicle in front of me and mirror that vehicle in front of me, so that if you're turning a corner, then I know that that corner's coming, and the vehicle can actually make the driver a better driver. Autonomous braking, and we can talk about that in every aspect of Safety Sense 2.0. But the word autonomous is something that Toyota really wants you to use. Autonomous driving, autonomous braking. We're doing everything in our power to build a car where the driver doesn't have to be involved at all, so that you can go point A to point B, let the car do all the function for you. So these manufacturers out there, including Toyota, which I believe is pioneering the edge of this, are looking at they're a mobility company now, not a car company. They want robotics to be the next step of the evolution of transportation. And autonomous braking is something that people don't understand. I mean, people text while they drive. Do you not see it? Does it not bother you? Does it not, when you look up from texting and you see somebody texting next to you, does that upset you that they're texting? Of course, you can text and drive. That's not a problem. It's that guy next to you. You know that person's dangerous because they're not as good a driver as you. But everybody's doing it. You're playing with your sound system. You got food, you got your vape in one hand, you're driving with your knee, and you know, all of this stuff, then the car can stop for you. I don't know how many times that has to work before you really appreciate the value of the science of the car, but I believe the answer is one. And then pedestrian detection, we're really getting down to where I can do low light. So I'm driving in a neighborhood, the sun's going down. I mean, the visibility is terrible. My headlights don't help. It's that twilight, that really dusky time where most people really have a hard time seeing. A kid runs out between two parked cars. You don't see it fast enough. That's like the worst case scenario in anybody's life. Nobody wants to have that happen to them. What if the car had the ability to be able to stop and save that child's life? Again, every time we launch something, it gets better and better, making the driver better and better. So we're in a situation where the technology is the value of the car. And I'm gonna end with this. If you honestly think you have the ability to learn this technology so that you can articulate it so that everybody will be interested, you got to understand, if they've already been to 3 or 4 other dealerships, what they're interested in right now, and you can't blame them, is the price of the car. They've met 2 or 3 salespeople that aren't at your level at 2 other Toyota stores. And they've shown them the car, they've driven the car with them, the customer did not buy the car. The chances of that customer coming in and saying, hey, act like I've not been anywhere else, act like I don't know anything about the car at all, and do me a favor and just tell me everything about this car, the chances of that, give yourself a number. I'm going to say it's 0. So the ability to be able to get the new, cutting edge, unbelievable technology to the customer before they ever leave their home or office becomes the greatest tool of any salesperson. I believe it makes the customer decide not to go to those other 2 Toyota stores, or the Honda store, or the Nissan store, or the Hyundai store, and they come to you first. And once they come to you first and they realize that you really know what you're doing and you add value to their experience, they buy the vehicle from you. Next week, believe it or not, we're going to get into the driving dynamics of the all-new RAV4 and RAV4 Adventure. Might even throw a couple of cues into the middle of the year, into first quarter hybrid availability. KCNX PK 52, the Saturday morning meeting.